Hey, it's Mike Hambright with FlipNerd.com. Welcome back for another exciting VIP interview where I interview some of the most successful real estate investing experts and entrepreneurs in the industry to help you learn and grow. Today, I'm joined by Jason Burke, who's the CEO of JB Investment Group, and he's the operator of the Las Vegas Real Estate Insiders Club. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of events and networking in real estate investing. It's a critical topic. Before we get started, though, let's take a moment to recognize our featured sponsors. RealtyMogul.com is an online marketplace for real estate investing, connecting borrowers and capital from accredited and institutional investors. Get a rehab loan fast and close in as little as 10 days. Rates start as low as 9%. We'd also like to thank National Real Estate Insurance Group, the nation's leading provider of insurance to the residential real estate investor market. From individual properties to large-scale investors, National Real Estate Insurance Group is ready to serve you. Please note, the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in this program do not necessarily reflect those of FlipNerd.com or any of its partners, advertisers, or affiliates. Please consult professionals before making any investment or tax decisions, as real estate investing can be risky. Hey, Jason, welcome to the show.
Hey, glad to be on, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey.
So, in addition to, we're going to learn some more about you today, and I know you've got an upcoming event.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about how important just events are in general and networking. And a lot of folks that follow the show know that I'm a huge proponent of REI clubs and know their value in our industry, and we go out of our way to support them. But before we start talking about that stuff, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and give us some of your background of how you got into real estate investing?
Well, I got back into real estate investing about 06, 07. I initially went into a Dave Lindahl event, which I was introduced from the Rich Dad Club. It was back in late 06, 07. Members in Massachusetts, it was snowing. It was like 10 to 15 inches. We had three-day event. So we were stuck in the hotel mostly. But it's what began me really learning more about real estate, learning more about multifamily, and really got my interest going. And it was someone else introduced to me into it.
Okay.
And I had done some studying from the Rich Dad books and so on like that.
Yeah.
I've always been a very independent person where I've self-taught myself or sought advice from mentors and so on like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't really start actively investing until about 08, realistically.
Okay.
And then I really got into why I came out here into Vegas and more into the multifamily, and B and C, doing buy and hold, wholesaling, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing now investing for about 5 years now. And then before that, I had a media background where I did anchoring, producing, writing for media. I went to school for that back in Emerson, so I did it behind and in front of the camera.
Yep.
And I ran my own sports company, Sports Entertainment Network.
Okay.
Which helped connect high school athletes with colleges with scholarships.
Yeah. Well, you're on the long list of guests we've had on the show that didn't start in real estate, but they found their way there one way or another.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, so then talk a little bit about how you started running the REI Club, and just really kind of how that fit into your strategy of real estate investing. And that's going to be kind of the general topic of the day is the importance of networking, which REI clubs are the king of bringing people together. Talk about real estate investing. So
yeah, it was actually an interesting story. It was back in 2010. I had gone to this REI meeting, the Las Vegas Real Estate Insiders Club at the time that was run by Glenn Plantone. I was in an August meeting when he announced he was stepping down. So I actually called my partner at the time, which was Frank Simon, and said, hey, Glenn's stepping out. So like, why don't we take over the club? I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. So it wasn't something I was planning to do.
Yeah.
It's something, an opportunity that happened.
Yeah.
So we had a meeting with Glenn, and I took it over in September 2010. And since then, I've been running the club. It's 4 years now, and this year.
Okay.
I mean, so we did learn a few things along the way.
Yep.
And we kind of changed the format to make it more one speaker, questions, and then the second half of the meeting, networking.
Okay.
So you're given the value of not just education, but the value of networking and building relationships, as we're talking about today, how important that is.
Yeah.
And what has fit into my strategic plan is it helps me get real estate opportunities coming in the door to evaluate is one of my sources of doing that.
Right.
I've also got in private money sources out of running the REI Club. I've also got in deal sources and developed vendor professional relationships.
Yeah.
Over the course of me running the club and building those relationships over time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, what's interesting
it wasn't intentional when I first took it over, but it's worked out where now I have intention behind it to potentially use it to feed my network, to feed my real estate business.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of folks. I had somebody on the show recently that talked about how to position themselves as an expert in their field, or whether it's from a certain lead source, or whether you focus on burnouts, or whatever it is, how to position yourself as an expert. And I think for in my experience, a lot of folks that run real estate investing clubs saw it as a way to kind of cure some of their social needs. Like I want to commune with people and meet people. And they really enjoy bringing people together, which that's not for everybody, but it's for some people. And it's a way to kind of position yourself as a way to help people, and in the process, you come across deals and build relationships with people that will benefit the real estate investing side of your business as well. So yeah, that's great.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I think that's very important. You're helping people at the same time you're building a real estate investing business while you're doing it.
Yeah.
And you're helping people get to where they want to go, and that's really critical.
Yeah, yeah. And this is becoming kind of old news because I've said it several times before, but even I myself started by walking into a REI Club meeting, had some interest in real estate investing, but had no idea what to expect. And you just kind of show up at a club meeting and start to hear stories and talk to people. And I don't know, there's a lot of folks that I know that got started that way, really didn't know what they didn't know, went to a REI Club meeting, and things kind of, they took it from there one way or another. So talk a little bit about just generally, not necessarily your real estate club, but just the importance of clubs and events and just general networking for investors and why that's important.
And that's important for a couple of reasons. One, general networking clubs it helps you build relationships within the community. It helps you tap into knowledge base, where people that know more than you, people you can network, people that can help you take your business to the next level. You meet vendor professionals there, which is important to develop certain relationships what you need for real estate transactions. And just overall being there, networking, having support from other people, knowing that people have done this before, that it's not so daunting, especially for a new investor that's unsure and doesn't know. I mean, I take the time for times to meet with people that are new and just kind of give them guidance where I can, And it's really important for the networking piece to build out relationships. It's not about how many contacts you have, it's the quality of relationships you build over time.
Right.
And that's one of the things I see as a mistake in a lot of networking, whether that be real estate, otherwise, is people are obsessed with getting the business cards, but not building the quality relationships they should.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important, where you're talking a real estate club, a real estate event, or any networking event for that matter. But it's really important to build your business. And you go there with a strategic goal, what you want to accomplish, or what you want. And not a lot of people won't do that. They'll just go because it's the first time, and they'll go because they've been a veteran and they have a certain goal.
Yeah.
But it does help you when you have a strategic goal in mind, going there and then open yourself up to the relationships and to see what you want to get out or what you can contribute into the group.
Yeah, maybe we could talk a little bit about, because I know you have first off, I know you have an event coming up, and this show is going to be published right before your event comes up, so we'll try to help you promote it, but hopefully the content here will live on beyond your show as well. But why don't you go ahead and tell us about the expo that's coming up, and then we'll kind of talk, and then I want to kind of get into how people can get the most out of an event. I think that'd be an interesting segue.
No, absolutely. I think it'd be very good. So we have the Las Vegas Real Estate Expo we're doing with Real Estate Magazine. It's going to be here October 4th and 5th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Both days 9 to 5 up at the Hampton Inn Tropicana Hotel and Event Center. I mean, we're going to have speakers such as Larry Goins, Brad Shamrock. I mean, we're going to have a local real estate expert, Mark Hull, that's going to talk about real estate fundamental investing. We're going to have Carly Hatch, and we're going to have a list of speakers that are both national and local, talking about specific areas of real estate investing or business and how they can help investors. And to get the most out of the expo, whether it be my expo or anyone else, is really to go in there and network with intention to learn, intention to just develop relationships in that expo, to connect and take time to have conversations with people and get to know them, get their contact information, set up a meeting while you're there if you're traveling in for the expo, because we have people coming in from California for this expo in different states.
Yeah.
So it's just not Nevada. I mean, so to get the most is to go in there with intention of not only learning, but to network. And as one of the co-organizers of the event, our real goal is we're here to put on an excellent event that gives a lot of value for education and gives a lot of rich networking opportunities.
Yeah.
That there'll be people in the room that have real estate opportunities, people that have money, people that can connect in a way. And there's going to be plenty of time for networking and connecting with these vendor professionals. I mean, we're probably going to have close to 20 to 30 vendors be at the expo, as well as we have a strong speaker lineup for both days.
Yeah, that's great.
Coming Saturday and Sunday. I will be speaking at some point in the expo as well about the REIA and so on. And we have different speakers on different, like, multifamily, rehab, and buy and hold investing. And really, we just want to put on a value-added event that benefits the community and benefits real estate investors in general.
Yeah.
And that's really the goal of bringing the expo together. It came together in May when I met Linda back in LA, when I went to one of our expos,
Right,
and I talked to
Linda August. Yep.
Yes. So that came together. We had conversations, and me and Kyle and her had conversations, and it came together about late May, June, when we started to do the event for October.
Okay.
And so we've been just really promoting that event, telling people about it through my club and through our other list, and really saying, hey, we're here to put on an excellent event that will give you a lot of value. Come out, you'll learn a lot. You'll get a chance to meet a lot of new people, network, develop relationships. And that's really important.
Yeah. Some advice that I'd give to people that are listening to this, just from somebody that's been to a lot of expos and trade shows,
Right.
spoken at a lot of events, and known people, a lot of the folks that are running these large events, I'm friends with all of them, is I think that some of the same things that you said, I think if you go there with some intention of what you want to accomplish, like a lot of newer people, and I was probably the same way, you just show up and you really don't know what to expect at all, and you just think I'm just going to go with the flow, which is okay, but I think you need to have somewhat of an agenda over what I want to learn or who I want to meet, because it's kind of an opportunity lost if you don't. And make sure you create yourself a little checklist, like these are the things I want to get done, and just keep
Yes.
looking at it every once in a while and say, did I do these yet? The other thing is, and just in networking in general, I teach a lot of folks this. I'm the worst at it. I don't want to put myself on the spot here, but probably in the drawer right behind me, I have a bunch of business cards in stacks with rubber bands wrapped around them from events that I went to, that I filled my pocket with cards, and then I came home and threw them in a drawer and never necessarily contacted those people again. And I think that as I'm saying that, there's probably people that, when I say this next thing, will kind of identify with this. They could probably remember maybe the exact people after they went to a networking event that actually sent them a personal email and said, hey, it was great to meet you. I hope sometime soon we can talk about this or that again, or whatever. It's so rare that most people remember those occurrences, which is a shame, because that's what networking is all about, is not just making the connection, but kind of building that relationship over time.
It's the follow-up.
Yeah, the follow-up. And follow-up is critical in real estate investing. Why wouldn't it be critical in networking? So
it's critical in both. And I've learned that for myself. I've had that in early on past events where I had stacks of business cards, but then follow up, but didn't, and it was like a waste of the event in reality.
Yeah.
One of the most important things is to follow up with people after the event. Email them, send them a letter saying it was nice to meet you, a card. Give them a call and say, hey, I want to schedule a time to talk. It was great to meet you. Let's see how we can work for mutual benefit, how we can benefit each other. And a lot of people fail to do that. They fail to follow up with people. They meet the connection, they leave the event, it just slips their mind, and 3 months later they're looking at a card and they don't know what it is,
And you can't remember that person, or they can't remember you. I think the key with networking is to remain memorable, right? Like to be in the back of somebody's mind, so when some opportunity comes up, they think, I know somebody that's interested in that, or I know somebody that said that they want a C-class multifamily property in this city, or whatever it is that you're after. I think
it's to stand out. It's to make yourself stand out. And by doing that is really paying attention first to learning about their business, and then when they actually tell them about your business, so you can provide value to their business.
Yep.
And coming from a place of value to provide from the business, and rather a place of just getting cards or networking but no value.
Right.
And that's what some people I see that just don't provide value. That just come from a place of, I want to get a card, but they don't think to take the time to really say, what value am I going to provide that personal relationship? How can we make it a win-win? And that's for anyone that really is working in it, networking in that you want to provide value. It's not how many cards you get, it's how many quality connections you get.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing. You can have 200 hot cards and have no quality connections, and you had a failure of an event.
Yeah.
You could have 10 or 15 and have 10 or 20, or have maybe 2 or 3 or 4 really good connections you could do business with, And that's a successful event.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I've learned over the years and just in my strategy when it comes to networking.
Yeah.
From what I used to do back in the mid-2000s to what I do now.
Yeah. In terms of networking and adding value, just to kind of build on your comment, I'll give people one other piece of advice that this is going to sound a little odd to people, especially newer folks that don't think they have a lot to benefit people that they might talk to, but maybe more veteran people. They're like, well, how could I help that person? But in the process of talking to, somebody that you're interested in, if you literally just say, is there anything I can do to help you? Like,
yes.
Sometimes I ask people that, like, I have people on the show and people assume that they're just going to give to me. And if I say to them, well, what can I help you with? They're like, help me? Oh, and you can tell that they're kind of shocked which is a shame. People just don't hear that very much. Like,
no.
They just, a lot of networking, I guess my point is when you're networking, make sure that you're trying to, like you said, add value and not just take value from somebody.
Right, exactly. It's add value, what you can do for them. How can you create that win-win relationship is really critical.
Yeah.
Whether it be a local REI meeting, a networking event, an expo, whatever networking event you may be, real estate or non-real estate related.
Yeah.
You can apply those lessons to any one of them.
Yeah. Well, can you give some advice on just generally the best ways to network in terms of like whether it's systems you use or it could be as simple as email,
right.
But in terms of
I think the best ways to network is you go in there. You first want to get to know the other person's business, what they do, how you can help them, and how you can make solutions for them and stuff. Because if you pay attention and generally pay attention to the people you network, they'll ask you about your business, and they'll ask you about you. And you're creating a win-win situation where you're not just running up and here's my card, and some people come up to events and just hand out their cards, but they won't create no value whatsoever, and they just plaster a bunch of business cards and it does absolutely nothing. Contact management system is always important. Buffini, I've used for FlowMaker. I've used that as a contact management system. There's iContact that you can use even Google, like a spreadsheet, Excel, just to keep contacts and remind you when to follow up with people. And that's always a point to keep managing a database.
Yeah.
And one thing people don't do is create a database to manage. And that's really your book of business and contacts, Yeah. I mean, some people are old-fashioned. If you want to use a book to put the business cards in and that's your database, okay. But if you want to use a technology one to really remind you, it's important to have a database, to really catalog and to keep tracks of interactions. One of the things at the meeting we do is we have like contact sheets we hand out for people to fill out, So it helps you remember. You can catalog that information after.
Yeah.
So this person's interested in doing this person wants to do this. I'm like, you have something to refer to back in your database or the sheets, but you should have some type of contact management system to help you with your networking, keeping track. Because if it's not on the top of our heads, and I'm good at remembering stuff a lot, I'm really sharp, but not everyone's sharp as me as far as that. So that's why it's important to have a system to remind you.
Yeah.
People at different levels.
Absolutely.
And even for me, it helps you connect with those people, know when to follow up and doing that.
Right.
And that's really, really critical.
So just for general REI Club meetings, I know you have a monthly general meeting, which is pretty typical of real estate investing clubs. Can you talk about, I think a challenge that a lot of people have is that it's usually during the week. Everybody has hectic lives. They have busy jobs. They have long commutes. They have families they have to get home to, kids' sports after school. There's so many things that conflict with the times of typical real estate investing club meetings, and really not just REIA meetings, just anything outside of what their job and their family. But just talk about the importance of people trying to get to those general meetings, not necessarily just expos and large events, but just kind of recurring
general meetings.
Yeah,
it is very important because you want to build relationships by showing up there consistently over a period of time. You're building relationships, you're knowing people better. And it's really just prioritizing. Like you have a schedule. It's like, hey, I need to get, this is a business activity I need to do every month to get, because it's going to help my business,
Yeah.
Get into local REIA meeting, learning more, network of new people, building my business. And that just comes down to prioritizing, know. I mean, in your schedule, you look at your schedule and say, hey, I have to do this, or this is a business activity I need to do, or this networking event I need to be at.
Yeah.
But it really comes down to prioritizing your time in that and saying, hey, I'm investing to create these relationships because this can help me and my family accomplish our goals in the long term.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to look at. It's not show up at one meeting and then don't show up again,
Yeah.
It's show up consistently and develop relationships over time, and you'll see those results.
That's the key, is over time, because I think just like you know, I've bought decent amounts of houses in the past, but we go weeks without buying houses sometimes, and then we'll buy 2 or 3 in a day, or you know, weird things happen. So you just can't expect that every time you go to an event you're gonna hit a home run. I mean, you're probably never gonna buy a house or sell a house at a REI Club meeting, but it's based on incrementally building those little relationships over time, and then you have such a large network that good stuff happens fairly consistently. But it's kind of laying, you know, planting seeds for things down the road. And I think that's where a lot of people get hung up, is they say, well, if I might drive all the way there, and there's probably hardly anybody there, and nothing fantastic is going to happen tonight. But you're not going there for tonight. You're going there for the future.
Yes, you're going there for the future. And you're not going to get a deal every single month. I don't even get a deal every single month, but I'm the organizer, you know?
Right.
There's times where I don't, there's nothing that comes out, and there's times that things come out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I do more multifamily, and a lot of my club members do residential. So there's times where you don't get, but there's other times where you get private money connections, auto opportunities come in for it. So it works itself out, but you just have to have patience.
Right.
You have to have patience, understand it's a process over time.
Yeah. Yeah. And
you also understand what market you're in too. You know, it makes a difference on the pace of how people move in certain different markets. Like in Massachusetts, in New York, everyone is working 24/7 in the weekends.
Yeah.
Here in Vegas, it's like after Friday, it's like, okay, we may have to wait till Monday.
Yeah.
You know, so, but you just have to understand your market, and you have to know a plan over time. You're going to see that business, but it's not going to be overnight. And you just have to understand that as a person when you're networking, or if you're organizing, or whatever you're doing. So you know you can hit your strategic goals over time.
Right, right. So tell us again about, not necessarily the speakers, but the event that you have coming up, the Expo, and Linda Pliagas puts on a number of events, and there's the REI Expo. That's a great event. Just talk a little bit about the upcoming event and what you think people, you know, should expect to get out of it.
I think what people should expect to get out of it is they're going to get a lot of valuable education through real estate experts that will teach in different real estate fields. And also they'll get a lot of valuable networking opportunities to build their network, to build their brand, to really go there and come away with that value that they'll get from networking. Yeah. I mean, yes, you're going to learn stuff. You're not going to learn everything you need to learn about any field in 1 day or 2 day expo. Right. That's never going to happen. Right. But it does give you the opportunity to connect those people that can mentor you to do that if you chose to do that. Right. But what the value is, you're going to be able to network with a lot of people. Some people are going to have private money. Some people are going to have real estate opportunities. There'll be plenty of vendor professionals to help you build your power team. And that's another thing. Investors don't take time to build your power team of professionals that can really help you and help you out. Yes, so there's going to be a lot of valuable networking opportunities for that.
Yeah, can you kind of expand on that a little bit? Kind of building what you call build your power team.
Yeah, power team is the individual. So say you want to have your title company, you want to have your broker, you want to have your attorney, you want to have your appraiser, you want to have a real estate mentor on your team. You want to have different areas of professionals that you use for different services that you're going to need to do transactions. Yep. You're going to need a company to do escrow. You're going to need an appraiser to go there. You'll need people that can rehab, contractors on your team. You need a good real estate mentor that can pat you on the head and kick you in the butt when you're not doing what you need to do. Yeah. You need different people to do that, and that's one of the things I emphasize is definitely a power team and having those people in place. And the other clubs emphasize that through Mark Hall and John Lee and Outback as well. They do that as well. But it's one of the things that are very important because people skip that step. They understand they may have the potential deal, the private money, but they don't put the vendor professionals around them to make the transaction happen. Right. You know? And sometimes that can be problematic, you know? Yeah. Especially when you're a beginning investor or someone that's been a kind of intermediate investor. They don't have the type of network they do. And I'm very good at networking, building my network, because I'm very strategic about not just through my club, but through LinkedIn and other things like that. When I want to go into other markets, you know, I strategically look to build that network of vendor professionals, of real estate investors, of wholesalers, of people that you're going to need to do business with. Attorneys that have good contracts to make sure you keep everything above board and legal, escrow officers, brokers that have good relationships, you get pocket listings, if possible, you do business with them the right way. just making sure you have the people you need to accomplish your business goals.
Yeah.
And everyone is different from what you want to cost. Some say rehab, some do fix and flip. I mean, I think you always have to adjust with the market. Like right here in Vegas right now, we're in more of a buy and hold market. I mean, I see some people saying fix and flip, but it's just not happening here like it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And realistically.
Yeah.
But having the right support people in place so you can do what you need to do to be successful and put you and your investors in the best position is something very critical to do.
Yeah, I think it's even important for veteran real estate investors because people come to me all the time asking for who do I use for this or that, but it's fairly common for me to go ask them for, I've been using this roofer for years and he's let me down for the last time. Like I need somebody new. And I've used one person for so long, when they flake out, you're like, I'm just like a newbie. Like I need somebody now and I don't know who to use. Yeah.
There's a tip for that. Basically, it's having 3 deep on your power team in every position.
Yeah, there you go.
3 deep. So therefore, you have 3 people that you can call, 3 title companies, 3 attorneys, 3 contractors, 3, having 3 deep. So if you can't get a hold of that professional or that person flakes out, you have someone else to go to.
Yeah.
And so you're not stuck in the quandary and it's what I do. Because you took in the time to develop those relationships, to develop a list that say, hey, these are my guys, these 3. And you can have more than 3, but I just say 3 is a general rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one of the things I learned from Mark Holland from Outback is really having 3 deep or 4 deep in your power team for each position. Having CPA, having accountants, because certain people specialize in certain areas and not other areas.
Yeah.
And by having those people on your team and having multiple people, you can't get a hold of the guy you've been using forever or he flakes on you. At least you have 2 more people to go to.
Right.
And that is really critical.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, Jason, we're going to add a link for the upcoming expo down below the video here. But if you want to go ahead and tell us where people can go to find your REI Club and where they go to find more about the expo.
Okay, well, people can go to meetup.com under the Las Vegas Real Estate Insiders Club, and they can find out more about the Las Vegas Real Estate Insiders Club. It's free to join. We don't charge for the meetings because we're a sponsor-driven meeting now, so it's free to attend the meetings. The expo, I have the link, the flyer I can send, happy to send, or the link for the flyer that you have that people could click. I'll take them right to the flyer.
Great.
On the meeting. It's free to register for the expo. It doesn't cost anything to attend. We do have a bus tour of $99. It's going to be on Sunday. That's the only thing. And then we have the list of speakers that we currently have right now. I mean, there's a whole list on the email I sent you, the whole complete list, and then there's a list of 5 or 6 of them on the flyer.
Okay.
And so if they want to attend the event, it's free to attend. Just register. You'll get a confirmation in the email. We also have booth spots available for the expo as well. For companies that want to do that.
Yep.
And that's about $4.95 for a booth spot right now.
Okay. And
that's the table, chair, skirt, and it gets you into Realty 401 magazine in October.
Okay. Okay. Great. Good stuff. So we'll add links for all that down below. Wish you the best with your upcoming event and with your REI Club. And thanks for sharing your time and your insights today. Definitely appreciate it.
I definitely appreciate it too.
All right.
Thanks, Mike.
Take care, my friend.
Okay.
Are you a member of FlipNerd.com, the most robust real estate investing platform in existence, where you can find off-market wholesale deals and great vendors literally in your market? You can get access to advice from experts and learn about local clubs and events right in your backyard. If not, please visit FlipNerd.com and register for a free account. You can register in less than a minute. It's pretty much the coolest site that's ever existed in the real estate investing industry, so get on over to FlipNerd.com.